I'm Klyn,
I'm Prem K.
and this is our video project for Miss Radcliffe's class.
Fourth period. For the story Skin, the theme is don't let greed be the pinnacle of your actions.
And a textual example of this is when the guy in the yellow gloves and the manager of the art gallery are trying to persuade the old man of buying the painting on his back. And so the old man kind of was being greedy when he chose the guy with the yellow gloves, because the guy with the yellow gloves was saying how he was a hotel manager and how he would let him live in his 5-star hotel for pretty much the rest of his life. And then once he dies, he would take the tattoo. But the manager was like, we'll get you a skin graft, and then the guy with the yellow gloves was like, oh, that would probably kill you. Come live with me. I'll give you duck. How do you like your duck? And then I'll give you money. I'll give you a nice place to live, and you'll be surrounded by beautiful women all the time. And the old man, instead of going with maybe the right decision and like he didn't really think, he just went with like he was really greedy with it. I think for me and my partner over here, we just think he was being really greedy about it, and it just wasn't. He just didn't think it through, and his greed got in the way of everything else. For the story, The Bet, the theme of this story is that you need to be wise about your decisions in life.
The textual evidence to support this is when the banker makes a $2 million bet with the lawyer for him to stay in solitary confinement for 15 years, and he goes bankrupt before he could do it. The theme of the sniper is that war can bring out the worst in people.
An example of this is when the sniper kills the old lady that gave away his position to the soldiers.
And then he goes and kills like a bunch of people on top of the roof, and then he ends up killing his brother, which he loved dearly.
Yeah, and when he killed he was happy to see like that he killed the sniper, because he was like, I outsmarted you, I did all this, and then he goes, let me see who that is, and then he turns the guy over,
and then boom, it was his brother.
It was his brother.
And the story ends, and you never know what happens next.
And
the end.
It'd be depressing. The theme for the story, The Hunger Artist, is that fame and attention isn't everything in life.
The textual evidence to support this is when the hunger artist wants so much attention and fame
that he's fasting longer,
and then he just kills himself.
And he pretty much just dies because he's fasting for so long that it's just like, dude, what are you doing?
It takes a toll on him.
And then next thing you know, he dies. He dies in this cage, and then he gets replaced by a panther. And
that's pretty messed up.
It's not. I mean, it's a little just dark.
The theme for the Mask of the Red Death is that no matter how much wealth and power you have, you can't avoid the inevitable.
I would say a textual example of this is when the prince is getting all of his friends, he's having a party, and all of his friends are rich and they're royalty pretty much, and they all think that since they're rich and they have money that they're not going to get sick, but really in the end,
but they are.
They all get sick, they all die. You can't escape death, which is like kind of pretty much the message of the story is death is.
And you need to stop interrupting me every time I say the theme. Calm down. The theme of The Demon Lover is that many aspects of war take a toll on people.
A textual example of this is when the lady goes into her abandoned house and then she sees the letter, and then she just starts like, pretty much she just like everything's just in her mind, like she's just thinking of all this stuff about how she gets kidnapped and all this, and like that's what war does to people. War can kind of make people go insane a little bit.
And like what happened to her husband and stuff.
So I mean, and then her past, they brought up her past, because her past had a war in it too. So like the war is connected almost, and it kind of was messing with her brain a lot more than it really, really should have, and drove her just mentally insane.
Yeah, that's a good point. The theme for the ones who walk away from umbrellas is that good does not exist without evil.
A textual example.
Where'd you come from?
A textual example of this is how the community of or how the utopian society in this book kind of sacrifices one child so that they can compare their lives to this child, or like not sacrifice him, but maybe like give him a bad life.
What?
Give him a bad life so they can compare their lives to him and be like, oh, we have it good, and he doesn't, so we need to be like grateful for it. So it's like sacrificing him almost. All right, the story that we chose as our one story that we like really got into detail
We
is
chose the Hunger Artist because everyone is always constantly trying to be famous, just like the Hunger Artist, especially in our school.
yeah, like people who want to be like basketball stars or football stars or Instagram famous or like really good soccer players or famous soccer players, and that's what they strive for, is to be famous in life.
Yeah, and we can't all be famous, guys.
Hey, I mean, don't kill any people's dreams right now. I mean,
Your mom just texted you.